up the recording again. And so remember what we want to do here, okay, is we're talking about the argument and then the emotional trigger as well, okay? So we're talking about the argument and the emotional trigger. And the activity was learning for different elements and how to put them together, okay? So what we want to do is you're in your groups and you're going to present so that we understand how you can persuade people for sales and products and services, decision making, progress report, and an orientation lecture, okay? Remember, you have 3 minutes using arguments and emotion. Please let me know when you're ready, group one, and I will switch the timer on for you.
Hold on. Are we group one?
Thank you.
Hold on. Where are my group mates?
We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Is it correct that we are group one? Sorry, I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Yvette. Neil, we are ready.
Your 3 minutes starts now.
All right. For group one, we are the group for what group are we at? Sorry.
Sales.
For the sales, yeah, and we will be talking about the we will be trying to persuade people to join JCI. So for the cognitive part, we will be discussing to people that JCI has been in existence for more than 100 years already, and that JCI is present in more than 100 countries. And also, JCI is an affiliate of the UN in helping realizing the 17 global goals, or the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. For the emotional components, we will be explaining to them the different benefits or advantages in terms of the 4 areas of opportunity, namely individual, community, international, and business. We will make them excited about the different advantages or benefits that they can get when they join JCI. In terms of individual, they can get training opportunities, leadership development, and professional development. For the community area, they can have opportunity to help a lot of people, especially the different communities who belong to the marginalized ones, and then the of course the opportunity to impact. For the international area, we'll be explaining to them the opportunity to meet people around the world and the opportunity to participate in huge international events and conferences. And then for business, we'll be explaining the opportunity to build or widen your business network and to form business partners. That would be all, Neil.
Excellent. Okay. So before we move to the next presentation, could people in the chat function talk about what they felt was a argument, so the facts, and what they felt were the emotions of that, of how they're going to persuade people? So could you all in the chat function put from that presentation what you think the arguments were and what you think the emotions were that the group were appealing to? We're all friends in here. So in the chat function, could you start putting what you felt were the arguments and what you felt the emotions were? Longevity, data, facts. Yep. Connection and efforts to empower the emotional. Yes, that's great, Yvette. Any other comments from people? They were great comments. Thank you. No other comments from all of our members? Okay, that's okay. So when we want to think about the facts and the argument and the emotions of it as well, we the group talked about the four areas of opportunity, which is great. Okay, they talked about the history of JCI as well, which is wonderful. One of the things that you want to think about when you're thinking about the argument and the emotions is one with the argument talk more about the four areas of opportunity there because they're more facts. Okay, the fact is that we give you all of these different areas of opportunity. The emotional argument you want to think about more is how is that going to make somebody feel inside? Okay, so the emotional connection, the benefits would be, for example, I joined JCI because I was interested in the international, and I've got to travel the world with JCI, and I've got to go and see there, and I've got to experience more. Or the individual and the training is I've had the opportunity to train on 4 effective communication trainings. I've developed myself as a leader. I've been promoted at work. Or the community, I got to go and help feed 500 children that were hungry, or I helped 1,000 people get Christmas presents. Okay. Or the business, I've built up my network. I've launched a new business from learning the JCI skills. Okay. So I like the facts of the chat that you've posted in there as well. So you want to think about the facts and then you want to think about the emotions. Okay, that was a very good job. Group 2, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Great. Group 2, your 3 minutes starts now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. The contest we have discussed is decision making. The contest where we are speaking to people to decide whether to join JCI or not, and our goal is to persuade them to join JCI. And to the content, um, arguments possibly could rise in the midst of the presentation would be like why I should join JCI. We can pursue them by saying, "Would you like to improve yourself?" Everybody, as basically as a human, we will be striving towards. We will constantly moving from good to great. We need to improve us second by second. By quoting some examples of presidents and people who are very famous after getting into JCI, political leaders who have JCI backgrounds, we can persuade them to join JCI. And the next argument possibly could be like why I need to spend that subscription amount yearly. It would be worthless. They might feel so, and we can persuade them by saying when it is a very less meager amount when compared to the benefits after we join into JCI. Like we can have a family meeting, interrelationship with people, friends. We need to get lots and lots of information about business networking, and we can, as above all, we can as a active citizen, we can concentrate on helping to people in our community. We can address the community problems as well. So we can pursue them by saying so. And the possibly the next argument could rise would be like, I don't have enough time to attend your meetings. They could say so, and we can pursue them. And nothing is more important than investing time to improve ourselves. So that would be the best time. So if you want to change your tomorrow, you need to change your daily routine. So you could possibly find time to for that important aspect of your life. So we can pursue them, say so, and after that we can end with the call for action like join JCA and be better and help community. So thank you, sir.
Excellent. Excellent. With under 30 seconds to spare. Okay, would anyone like to yeah, somebody asked about sharing their screen. Yeah, you can always share your screen. That isn't a problem at all. So, would anyone like to post any comments in the chat function about what they felt about that and how that worked? Would anyone like to post any comments about what they liked and what they felt about the argument and then the emotional side as well? Okay, people said it was succinct and excellent. That's good. That's good. Looking for any further bits of information, any further thoughts, reflections, comments. It was perfect. That's great. Yeah, I'm looking for it was very, very good. I agree. I'm always looking for people's points of view about the emotion and the facts. So think through what the emotions and the facts were as well. So some of the things I liked was I was given a story. I was taken on a journey. Okay, it was very easy for me to understand what was happening. We talked about overcoming the objections as well. So like, why should I sign up and become a member? So I really like the use of the facts, and I really like bringing in the emotions and giving people a story as well, so that I could follow it through and I could learn and understand. Okay, so that was very, very good. Okay, group number 3. Matthew, I've made you a co-host, so you should be able to share your screen, my friend. There we go. Group number 3.
Thank you so much, Neil.
You're welcome. Group number 3, your time. Are you ready, Matthew?
Very ready.
Okay, your time starts now.
Hello, everyone. We are Team 3, and we will represent progress reports. Thanks to our group mates who have made this presentation a breeze. So for progress reports, we first identified the nature of this kind of presentation, which is number 1, formal, number 2, internal, because this will talk about success and milestones of the chapter, as this is wrapped around the premise that this is a JCI membership activity and presentation. So involved in these presentations are JCI members, the board of directors, and other members in the area. So in the progress reports, we identified arguments and the emotional triggers. So items that we will be in this progress report presentation, we will start first by going back to the purpose of why we are part of JCI. We would like to trigger that kind of mood and tone before we go into the internal part, just to make sure that everybody would be as inclined to see, because again, this is an internal report, so we will be talking about figures, about numbers, about formal presentation. So that is why we set up the tone by encouraging everyone to remind them what is the purpose, why they joined, what are the goals as they started the new LO year. So we start in that way, and then we go into our arguments, or the items that we'll be putting into the communicated data, facts, the real descriptions, and the supportable reasons why we do this kind of presentation. So first is we will do a rundown of implemented projects with intact, concise, and brief descriptions of the projects and the facts about it, the funds raised, the number of communities helped. And then we go to the numbers of trainings conducted, the number of attendees, the dates, and we go now to the partnerships that the local chapter has partnered, and the different industries where they belong. And of course, again, going back to making sure that real descriptions and references are used. And also part of the argument, or the real facts that we'll be communicating in the presentation, is the membership growth. The real figures, probably in the past 5 years of the chapter, we will give them the diagram of the growing membership of the chapter. And how we presented it as a group is we mirrored it on how to make these information triggering emotions and making them feel why it is important to know that presentation. So as you can see, the rundown of implemented projects we'll have an emotional trigger of acknowledgement of the implementing members, the results of the community by giving in the messages from the communities that we've helped, and pictures of how the project was implemented. For the numbers of training conducted, we will be using an emotional trigger of identifying who the new trainings are, the training eligibility of the existing trainers, and what new courses they can train and which areas they have trained, may it be national, local, other chapters, or international.
Mhm.
For the partnerships that we have created, we will trigger an emotion to make them feel why it is important to have new partnerships. So the shared values that we have connected by new partners and existing partners that we've twinned or we've sistered or private institutions. And as for the new members, we will trigger a feeling of making them feel that this chapter that I belong to is something growing that I want to be part of. So that is why we put in membership growth and
Okay.
appreciation of the impact we have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very, very much. That was very, very good. Thank you. It was just a little bit over, but everyone else was under, so we're still tracking okay for time. That was very good. I liked how to do the emotional side of it. I liked how you referenced what the emotional was going to be, and then what the facts were. Somebody's made a very good point about the rundown of implemented projects. Is that an emotional trigger? Yes, it can be, because it's bringing you old memories. What you've all successfully shown is that you obviously were listening to the last 3 presentations as part of the overall effective communications course, which is great. So this end course as well is to help you reflect on everything that you've learned. So well done. You all did very, very well. Okay, we do have to run through some slides in terms of giving you a little bit more of a background and information too. But this is a very interactive course. Okay, so I really appreciate everybody's flexibility and interacting as much as possible. Okay, so we talked about the different principles. We talked about
Neil, are you there?
We lost you.
Hello?
He'll be here soon.
Hi, Neil.
the fact that we've got to persuade. Everyone okay? Everyone can hear me okay?
We can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
Now
hear
we
you
can
now.
hear you.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Fantastic. So there's 6 principles of persuasion that you want to think about. Okay. So 6 principles of persuasion. So what we've been talking about is how we're going to persuade people using the arguments and the emotions. These 6 principles are in the manual and obviously are going to be on the slides. This will be part of the knowledge test. So make sure that you pay attention to that too. Okay. But they're going to be in the manual and they're going to be in the slides as well. Okay.
Neil, quick question.
Yes.
Are we not doing group 4?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, we are doing group 4. So group 4, please. I was so blown away by the last presentation. I thought that was it. My apologies. Group 4, please go ahead. Group
Sorry,
4,
guys, I was
please
that
go
busy.
ahead.
Okay. Could you share the file, guys?
I can make you the co-host. Yes, absolutely. I've made you the co-host. Please go ahead. I was so blown away by the other 3 presentations. Okay, so are you ready?
Just a second. Just a second. My teammates has to share our notes. Is it right? Teammates for group 4, group 5, or 4? No. Group 4. Actually, we write we write notes, but they have to share. I can wait, but
Anju has the notes.
Okay. Please forget. Okay. I'm a little confused because I got asked where's group 4. So group 4, do you need extra time at all?
Actually, I cannot share the document, so I put it in the chat.
Maybe you
Okay.
can open it directly and share it with others.
Okay,
Please.
so somebody put a
share
chat. Okay, so somebody. Okay, I appreciate that there's lots of people being enthusiastic, which is wonderful. Unfortunately, I can only hear. I only have the ability to hear one person at once. I can't hear multiple people. Unfortunately, I'm not that clever. Okay, so I can only hear one. I can only hear one person at once. So I heard about sharing.
Okay,
some
okay, it's okay.
chat function.
It's okay now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Now there's
yeah, it's
multiple
okay
people.
now.
Now there's multiple people talking. Please give me a second to catch up, okay? Because I'm really sorry. I'm not very good at listening. Got to confirm group 4. There's a presentation which I'm sharing the screen on, which says what is JCI adding to your lives, and it's got facts
Yep.
and emotions. Am I sharing the right piece?
Okay.
Is this is the right thing? Would somebody in group 4 like to present this piece and talk about it?
I can share.
Okay,
I can
great.
talk.
Please.
I can talk.
Okay.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay.
You wish to talk. Okay, your
Yeah,
3
yeah, yeah, yeah.
minutes for talking. Your 3 minutes for talking. If you are ready, your 3 minutes is starting now. Okay.
Okay. Right. Welcome everyone. And you can ask yourself what JCI is will add to my life. You can ask yourself, and here is some uh, facts. For example, personal growth. For the personal growth, you can join you can be a member of JCI, or uh, professional development, and maybe professional partnership or leadership skills, and the global networks. Uh, Sorry. Okay. Meeting like-minded people, global family, and more. Lots of things are waiting for you at GCI. And I can share more. For example, confidence, fulfillment. Uh, for example, empowerment or excitement, fun. That's all. That's all are waiting for you. That's all are waiting at GCI. You can think about again for JCI membership, and you can see all of the uh, all of the addings, what JCI adds to your life. You can see, and you can find more at JCI. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Is there any other points to make, or is that the end of the presentation? Okay. I think that's the end of the presentation, correct? Okay. My understanding is that that is the end of that presentation. That was excellent. That was excellent, excellent, excellent. So we are now going to go through the 6 parts of the. We're going to go through the 6 key parts of a persuasive presentation. Okay, so that was excellent. What I liked about that is, again, focuses on the argument, but again focused on the focused on both the argument and the principles too. So that was very, very good. I really enjoyed that. That was excellent. Well done. Well done. Okay, so the 6 principles of persuasion: reciprocity, social proof, commitment and consistency, liking, authority, and scarcity. What do I mean by all of that? Well, you've all mentioned these things. You've all mentioned about the fact of making a commitment. You've all mentioned about the fact how people need to be reciprocal to each other. You want to have social proof. So what we mean by social proof is talking about those emotional connections and bringing people together. Liking, so you want people to like the presentation. authority and scarcity. So what we mean by scarcity is you want people to feel that your presentation is different, that your presentation has got a value to it that they can't get from other presentations. Okay, so all of you, when you were talking about JCI, we're talking about the value that JCI offers compared to other organizations as well. So you made it feel like there was this scarcity value that people really wanted to be part of JCI. Okay, so they are the 6 principles of persuasion. What you want to think about in your presentation is you want to think about how you can get those 6 principles into your presentations fully. Okay, so when we mean by reciprocity, number 1, what we mean about is that's the concept of you're doing a favor for somebody so they can do a favor for you. So you want to talk about how, for example, if you were getting people to join JCI, the benefits of them joining and the benefits that JCI would receive, about how great it would be to have them. Commitment and consistency. You want your presentations to be consistent. You also want them to have an element of commitment. You want people to commit to something. You want people to like it. You want to speak with authority, and you want to have a scarcity value as well. Okay. So one of the things that you want to think about when you're mastering the presentations is managing accidents. Okay, so you want to think about the most common problems that could think of the common problems that you could get in a presentation. So please put them in the chat function. So what would be some common problems of a presentation? What could be common problems? Laptop down. Yep, that's a problem if your laptop's not working. My microphone wasn't working, so that was a common problem as well. Technical issues, absolutely. Okay, what are some of the other issues that you would have with your presentations? Technical issues. Heckler, yes. Audience late, doesn't respond as expected. Irrelevant questions asked by an audience, yes. So an audience that is late, yes, that is a challenge. Not unsure of the content, don't have all the answers. Yep. Audience doesn't respond as expected. Yep. So I've seen that. So this morning, with those of you who were on the other training as well, it wasn't clear to everybody what the instructions were. So what we had to do was I went into the breakout rooms and reassured people and explained the instructions again. It's very important when that happens to remain calm and controlled and take responsibility. So I didn't go into the breakout rooms and go, I can't believe you didn't know what was going on. I was like, it's okay, let's work this all out. Lost file, no backup. Yes, absolutely. So that's why, for example, as a trainer today, I have 2 screens. So I've got information on my laptop and on my main computer as well. Irrelevant delivery. Yes, that's very important too. Showing next slides due to multiple clicks. Yes, that happened at the start. A gremlin got in and we ended up right at the end. So yes, that is very important. Misunderstanding the demographic as well. So it's for high school students, but it's a different grade. Yes, that's very important. You've got to understand your demographic. There's an element here where I'm understanding the demographic because I'm assuming that you've taken the other 3 courses. Okay, so I'm thinking you've taken the other 3 courses already. But if you notice, I've referred back to those courses as well. So you really want to understand the audience demographic. Excellent. Okay, so things you want to think about first are the logistical problems. Power failure. PowerPoint doesn't work. The video doesn't work. The projector's broken or disconnecting. The presenter has fallen over. One of the things that you want to have about as a presenter, and you'll notice here, we've got a picture of the presenter falling over, is the presenter needs to be calm when something goes wrong. Okay, one of the most important skills a presenter has is their ability to improvise and manage difficult situations during a presentation. Okay? You want to try and resolve a situation naturally and maturely. You don't give up, don't over exaggerate, just focus on resolving without becoming impatient. So, for example, a couple of you said, "Oh, I can't hear you." So I said, "Okay, let me try this speaker against that speaker as well." Or some of you were talking, and I apologized and took responsibility, and I said, "I'm so sorry. I'm trying to view a presentation, and there's lots of people talking at once, and I don't have the ability to hear lots of people at once. I need you all to talk one person at a time." Okay, so you always want to be slow and calm and seek to resolve the situation. So when something goes wrong, continue moving forward. Don't freak out. Deflect and redirect. So, for example, if the PowerPoint stops working, what you can do is you can say, "Okay, everybody, this is a good time for a break." And you can break for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you could reset the PowerPoint. Or you could say, "Okay, everybody, I want you to think through this point a little bit more. So we're going to do a group exercise now, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit more detail." Okay, so there's ways to do it, because then what that does is you then can have the time to focus on it, because nobody wants to sit in a room if the PowerPoint stopped working or the slides, the projector's not working. Everyone's going to start going on their phones and not paying attention, and you'll lose the room. So what you want to think about is to throw an activity in to get the room energized and motivated whilst you work out fixing the technical problem. Okay, so you want to try and resolve the situation. Maintain your composure. One of the accidents that can happen is if the trainer is late. So, for example, today we had back-to-back trainings. What we need to do is to have gaps within the trainings in the future so that we're not overlapping. Okay, so you want to maintain your composure. So if you are late to a training, you should text the organizers in advance, or I would say phone them if you can do, and explain. When you walk into the room, make sure that you're not sweating, you're not looking nervous, that you feel very calm and controlled, and always take responsibility. Even if the problem isn't the room, and you should take responsibility. Okay, so continue moving forward. Don't stop. Focus on moving forward to reach the end result. Deflect and redirect. Don't make it more obvious. Look for human situation, relax, and ask for help. Resolve the situation. Attempt to resolve it naturally and maturely by immediately addressing and fixing the situation. Maintain composure. When unexpected problems happen, keep an unflustered voice and convince and influence others that everyone's okay. Take responsibility. Don't blame people for mistakes. Be flexible and take responsibility. Okay? So we talked about one of the problems. Okay, so that is managing accidents, technology. We also talked about, somebody said about hecklers. Okay, in the chat, please put, you don't have to name people, please put in the chat if you've ever experienced a heckler or somebody shouting or somebody being rude or unhelpful during a presentation, and how that made you feel. So you don't have to name them, but just put in the chat function, please, if you've experienced somebody who was showing behavior that you didn't like. Okay? Okay, great. Try not to be defensive and gently move forward. Absolutely. Not necessarily heckling, few people not quieting down. Yes, that's important as well. Any other ideas at all? We can talk about those two ideas, but if anyone else has got any perspectives that they wish to share with the group, unfortunately, that does happen sometimes, Shakil. Yep. If anyone else has got any perspectives they wish to share, you're very welcome. During president's training, sound system went off and the trainer became red and wrong words. Oh dear. Try and go give them a spot for a moment and move forward with the presentation. Yep, that's another good one as well. Yep, absolutely. Okay, these are great ideas. If anyone else has got any other ideas, they're very welcome to contribute. Okay, so I think we've got some good ideas there. So one of the things you want to do is you want to maintain what JCI would call is the leadership attitude. Now, that's very easy for me to say because I don't know the person who's being mean or who's being problematic with you, okay? And the examples. What I can say is that as being a leader, you're going to find people who don't always agree with you. So how do you maintain a leadership attitude when somebody's disagreeing with you in a presentation? Okay. You need, as a presenter, to balance the difficult situation in the room, balance dominating personalities, and neutralize any disruptions. One of the things that I do, oh dear, the presenter doesn't wear decent clothes. Yes, absolutely. We will get onto that in a minute. Okay, that's a very good point. One of the things that I do is I try to extend understanding to the person who's displaying the behavior. So whether they're being resistant or whether they're being difficult, or they just don't want to listen, or whether they just want attention. One of the things that I will do is if I know, for example, I have a presentation for JCI and I have an alumni or a senator in the room, and I think that alumni or the senator is going to try and take over, I will say to them at the start, thank you so much, Senator. Thank you so much, alumni, for coming today. I'd be very interested in your perspective. Is it okay if I call upon you during the training and ask for your point of view? And then during the training, I will say, I just want to step here because we've got whoever, alumni, senator, past president, whoever it is. And I'm just going to give them 30 seconds to a minute to talk about an experience that they have. If you do that, you're more likely to be able to control that senator or alumni because they're going to listen, because you're giving them the idea. Okay, you're giving them the opportunity. So you want to extend the understanding. Stay on the topic. So review the objective of the presentation and avoid getting off topic, and give firm and concrete answers that match the objective. Listen and respect differences of opinion. So you can acknowledge concerns and other viewpoints by being full with disagreement. So with that, you should say, I do understand your perspective. And then what you should say is you should repeat the perspective back to that person. I understand your point of view. You're looking at this from that point of view as well. I just want to make sure that that's what you're thinking. So a number of you have probably taken effective leadership, and that course talks about that too. So you want to repeat back to the person what you think they have said to you, and then you can then say to them, okay, I understand your perspective. This is where I'm coming from. What you can do is, if it gets too difficult, is you can say, this is a great discussion. I think that I need to talk to you on an individual level. Why don't I meet with you for coffee afterwards and we can talk about this in a bit more detail? You always want to be friendly. So show courtesy above all by confronting situations calmly and respectfully. So focus on the win-win, which a lot of you talked about as well. Presenter wearing decent clothes. Yes. I'm in a shirt today and a pair of shorts because I live in Los Angeles and it is very, very warm today. It's about 37 degrees, nearly 100 Fahrenheit. It's very warm. But in LA, we Californians tend to dress a little bit more informally anyway. You do want to think about the dress code of when you're presenting and who you're going to be presenting to, okay? So remember, undesirable behavior, maintain a calm attitude, extend understanding, try and bring that person in advance to the presentation, because then they won't take over, and be calm and focus on the win-wins. Managing questions. Well, that links to it as well. A number of you talked about questions. Prepare responses ahead of time. So think of your audience. So if you remember in crafting your message and message delivery, we talk a lot about the audience. So think about the audience and prepare responses ahead of time. Listen carefully to the entire question and show you're listening. So for example, what I was doing during when you were presenting, is I was leaning in like this, or I was sitting down like this very calmly, and I was going like this. I was displaying that I was listening to people, okay, because I wanted to show that I was being respectful of the presenter and that I was listening to them, okay? So make sure that you are listening to the question. So you repeat the question back. That way you're showing that you're listening to them. Answer questions concisely, okay? So you want to affirm the question and then answer it concisely. Try not to answer a question with a 5-minute story, okay? Try and answer the question concisely as possible. Disrespectful as well. Yeah, we're going to talk about disrespectful too in a second. Focus on main points, maintain honesty. So one of the ways that you can come across, one of the ways you can counteract somebody being disrespectful is to focus on the main points, answer the question concisely, and maintain honesty. If you do that, that can help keep the audience together with you because you've answered the question concisely. So you haven't given the opportunity for it to be an argument for 30 minutes. Okay. You're focusing on the main points and you're maintaining honesty as well. Okay. And exhibit respectful conduct. Thank you, Shaquille. You jumped in advance. That was excellent. So exhibit respectful conduct. So again, be respectful of people who could be alumni or senators. Be respectful if you're presenting at work, if you're presenting to a vice president or the CEO, be respectful of their position too. Okay, so always be respectful. High impact presenting. What do you think is going to make somebody be really, really high impact? Okay, so we're talking about attitude, technique, and knowledge. What do you all think we mean by attitude, technique, and knowledge? Okay, so in the chat function, start posting what you think we mean by attitude, technique, and knowledge. Positive attitude, great. What else do you think we want to talk about when we're talking about attitude as a bullet? Somebody has their hand raised, so I'm going to unmute the person who raised their hands so that we can hear their perspective as well.
In the last slide, we have the point, maintain honesty.
Yes.
So can you elaborate the point that maintain honesty?
Yes, absolutely. So what I mean by maintain honesty is you say, for example, somebody has asked you a question and you do not know the answer. You should say that you do not know the answer, but you don't say, I don't know, and then move on. You should say something along the lines of, that's a really good question. I need to think about that in a bit more detail because I want to make sure I give you the right answer and I'm not sure. How about we talk about this afterwards? And if I don't have the answer for you, I will connect you with the person who can help you. Or you say, I will get back to you later. Okay. So don't answer a question if you don't know the answer. Okay. Does that make sense? So for example, here's an example for you. If a number of you are members out in Asia, okay, and Asia and the Pacific, I'm a member in America. I do not know all of the, I do not know the Constitution and all of the rules of how JCI operates in Asia and the Pacific. I know the JCI Constitution. I know what happens in America, but I don't know what happens in Asia and the Pacific. So, for example, if I was at your area conference, okay, and I was presenting, and a member asked me about something to do with Asia Pacific, I would say that's a very good question. I'm here today as a trainer. I'm actually from JCI, the America region. I know how we do it in JCI America, but I want to make sure I get you the right answer. Okay, so that's what we mean about the honesty. Does that make sense, my friend?
Yeah, nice.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. So we talked about attitude as well, which, okay, fantastic. So positive attitude, empathetic, have full knowledge. Yes, I agree. Knowledge up to, oh, well, we've got loads. Okay, we've got quite a lot. This is wonderful, 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 wonderful. So I'm going to, everyone's making fantastic comments. I'm going to go through attitude first, okay? And then I promise we'll go through the other comments as well, okay? But I'm going to focus on the comments to do with attitude first. Okay, and then I probably
We lost you a bit, Neil.
friendly and what you say for their opinions. Okay. So I'm just having a look through the comments. So attitude, empathy, yep. Charisma, yep. Body language, pace and tone, yep. Approachable, open to answer questions at any time. Yes, that's very important. Okay. Positive attitude, empathetic, empathy, confidence, friendliness, winning attitude, positivity, strength, calm, compassion, confidence. Yep. Okay. So I think I've managed to get everyone's attitude, command attention. Technique, okay? So for technique, know who wants to participate, respect the audience right to speak, be able to synthesize answers, focus on positive aspects that have been said in each case. Okay, so I know a number of you have probably mentioned technique as well, so I'm just scrolling up and reading all of the comments on technique, and I'll read some of them out as well. Having full knowledge of subject, technical things used for training. Yes, absolutely. That's a very good point. Not technique. Get audience curiosity. Oh, I love that. That's very good. And able to maintain appropriate energy and atmosphere related to the topic. Make the audience be interactive and involved. Yes, that's very important. So one of the things that we're trying to do is to make these as interactive as possible, because it is different when you're not in a room. Use abbreviations. Yes, abbreviations can definitely help you. What you want to make sure with abbreviations is that they're language and culturally appropriate. Okay, so abbreviations that I may use as a British person in America could be different than abbreviations that you may use in India, the Philippines, Singapore, for example. Okay, so you want to make sure that your abbreviations match the audience that you're using. I tend, in an international audience, not to use too many, because I don't know if somebody's going to know the abbreviation that I've got, but yes, you certainly can use them. Technique, make the audience involved using many senses and emotions. Yes, way you connect with the audiences whilst presented. Excellent. Okay, finally, knowledge. So the audience is going to make a judgment about your presentation depending on your knowledge of it. Okay, so it's not just the knowledge of the presentation, but the related topics and subjects too. So general cultural knowledge. So I've talked a lot about how different cultures and languages during these presentations about how you need to communicate. So for example, in America, if I was presenting to Americans only, I would use more sports references like NFL or basketball or baseball. Okay. Whilst with an international audience, I might not do that. I would also have more bullet points on my slides presenting to an international audience, because it's not in their, it may not be in their first language. Okay, so you always want to think about that and the knowledge side of it as well. When we read about knowledge, we want to refer to studies and authors, talk about articles, cite data and facts, quote a well-known phrase, and leverage that to reinforce the message. Okay. So a number of you have made comments on knowledge. Information about the subject. Yep, that's great. I think there's some more. Implies powerful content. Yes. Implies expertise on what's being presented. Yes, absolutely. Up to date with the content and subject matter and not something else. Yes, that's very important. Experience related to the subject. Deeper understanding and current updates on the subject. Yes, yes. I think I caught everybody. I apologize if I missed one of your comments, but hopefully that gives a good summary overall. So thank you very much for sharing with me your thoughts and perspectives. So yes, we're all on the same page, which is very, very good news. Okay, so the high impact presenter is going to have a great attitude, a strong technique, and a strong knowledge as well. Okay, so now we're towards the end of this. So you're going to summarize everything that you've learned. Okay. So what I want you to do is I'm going to put you back into your teams. Now, I really appreciated the people. So I don't want to take away the opportunity from the people who presented so far, but
Did Neil?
I would
Neil,
like
we're
to give the
losing you.
opportunity for some. So you, hello, my friend.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
you're
Okay,
back.
great. Cool. Thank you. So what I want you to do in your teams, you're going to have 10 minutes, is I want you to summarize everything you've learned with a graphic and then no more than 5 bullet points, okay? Because one of the skills a presenter should have is being able to summarize a lot of information very quickly. Your graphic can be a photo, it can be a meme, it can be a cartoon, it can be a video, it can be a piece of clip art. So I want you to have a graphic which explains one of the things that you've learned today from mastering management, okay? And then up to 5 bullet points of the things that you have learned as a team, okay, about communication. So 5 bullet points and 1 graphic, okay? You're going to have up to 10 minutes to do that. Then somebody who hasn't presented is going to present, and then you are finished. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for me before I put you back into breakout rooms?
None so far. No questions for me.
Okay. So just to confirm, you're going to have up to 10 minutes. You're going to put a graphic together up to 5 bullet points. Okay. Now, actually, the last breakout, you were in the very, very big rooms. So what I'm going to do is I really want to hear for some more perspectives from people. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add a couple more breakout rooms. Okay. So I'm going to put you into 6 breakout rooms. So there's going to be 5 to 6 of you in there. Okay. Now, your topic and your graphic doesn't have to relate to one of the 4, okay? So if you were in the team talking about sales, okay, and now you're with people who were talking about orientation, that's okay, okay? So the topic has got nothing to do with JCI at all, okay? You want to find a graphic that thinks about, that is a key point of what you've learned, and then up to 5 bullet points, okay? So up to 5 sentences, no more, okay, about what you've learned today. Those 5 sentences you can put in a PowerPoint presentation, a Word document, you can put them in for chat, okay? You're going to have 10 minutes to do this, okay? I'm opening the rooms now, and then we will finish. And then you'll have up to 2 minutes to present, okay? So up to 2 minutes to present.